Honorable Professor Captain Ali Imam Sir, distinguished faculty members, respected my supervisor, Assistant Professor Mahmud Mujahid Hussain Chaudhary, Assalamu alaikum. I am Kazi Khaled Mahmud, a student, Port and Shipping Management Department, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Maritime University. Today, my presentation topic is drivers of green port management practices for sustainable port operations. Presentation outlines introductions, literature review, data and methodology, analysis and discussions, in conclusion and recommendations. First, we need to know what is the green port. A green port is a port that harmonizes with the principles of sustainability. We know that sustainability has total three principles. It should be environmental friendly, should be economically benefited, and it should be social participation should be there. So when a port is integrated three principles of sustainability in all formats of the port and maritime activities, it will be called as green port. Why we need the green port management practices? For transition to net carbon zero economy, to comply with IMO initial greenhouse gas strategy, to meet the sustainable development goal, to comply with industry requirement, and also a part of social obligations. At last, it should for the greater operational performance and economic benefits. We need the green port management practices. The objective of these studies are to identify the drivers for implementing the green port management practices. Then the existing implementation condition of all the drivers of green port in the Asian region, the significance of the drivers for implementing the green port management practices, at last, the causal and effect relationships between the each drivers for implementing the green port management practice in Asian region. Our research framework is initially we identified the drivers through the experts' judgment and extensive literature review. We draft the questionnaire and collect the data. Then we conduct a quantitative analysis and evaluate the green port status in wider Asian regions. And after that, we rank these green ports in the wider Asian region in terms of their green port implementation status. Secondly, we're also conducting the Dematel analysis. From the Dematel analysis, we identified the significance drivers for implementing the green port management practices. We also identified the causal and effect relationships among the different drivers. At last, we also conducted discussion and analysis, and conclusion and recommendations. Initially, we categorized all the drivers into 7 main drivers. These are automation and digitalizations, eco-friendly technology, energy management system, pollution control measures, port-specific environmental policy, incentive and penalty pricing, at last, compliance and certification for green port management practice. These main drivers also contains 44 sub-drivers for implementing the green port management practice. Here we shows all the sub-drivers and categorized among their different principles and requirements. Data and methodology. We have used the primary data from the questionnaire survey. We use the secondary data from the literature review. We use qualitative methods for selecting the main drivers and sub-drivers. We used quantitative method for ranking of the 12 major Asian ports based on their driver status. At last, we analyzed the causal and effect relationship among the drivers through the fuzzy Dematel analysis method. The port official experience who have been attended for the questionnaire survey, we have seen that 33 years is the highest experience and 5 years is the lowest experience of the port executives who have been attended my survey in this research. From the analysis, we find that Singapore is ranked as the #1 and highest ranked in terms of green port implementation measures in the wider Asian regions. We have been conducted this analysis in wider Asian regions, and we find 12 port executives, and from the 12 ports in the wider Asian region, when second in terms of green port implementation measures is the Johor ports. From the lowest positions, we found the Malay from the Maldives in terms of green port implementation measures in the wider Asian region. Here we also show this implementation status defined ports in this graph and chart. The relationship between the drivers have been analyzed also by using the fuzzy Dematel analysis method. We found that pollution control measures the most significant drivers in terms of green port implementations. After that, adaptation of eco-friendly technology. And number 3, we found that energy management systems. Here we have been shown all the drivers in terms of their significance for implementing the green port management practices. After that, we have been evaluated the causal and effect relationship between the drivers. This graph, you can see the positive and also negative values. The positive values, we found that automation and digitalizations and incentive and penalty pricings, and others are from the negative values. The positive values are have the causal effect to all the drivers. From here, automation and digitalization has the significant causal effect to all the to all other the drivers. And we see that least effect has the pollution control measures. This is the effect. We see that cause and effect relationship here. The effect relationship, pollution control measures has the less effect from to the all other drivers. And most significant effect relationship is adaptation of eco-friendly technology. This is the complete cause and effect relationship chart we have been shown and we have been found from the fuzzy Dematel analysis method. The significance of this research, port authorities and stakeholders will be able to examine their present green port status. I believe that this research will be significant insight and contribution to the green port management research. The port officials, executives, when they are implementing their policy and strategy of green port management practice, they can use this research for their future formulation of green port strategies. Recommendation: the 7 green port main drivers are to be considered in formulation of green port strategies. Our Asian ports can take this European port as a baseline for implementing the green port strategies. And we Asian ports can be collaboration effort among all the Asian ports for implementing the green port management practice. At last, this research has advocated strongly for formulation of green port guidelines similar to the ESPO based on Asian perspective issues. ESPO is European Union's for the European ports green port these guidelines for implementing green port measures. So we also advocated for formulation for Asian region same way with respect to the Asian perspective. Moreover, this study will set the benchmark for developing the future green port strategies. Thank you very much, all the faculty members, for allowing me time, and thank you. That's all my presentations. Assalamu alaikum.